Web3 is rewriting the rules. Technology, finance, freedom. We're sitting down with some of the builders in the space to get their take on where things are heading.
Nowadays, a lot of TradFi people, they want to tap into the market.
The transactions day to day are becoming really widespread around the world.
I don't think people are saying, hey, here's AI, let's just give up all our privacy. I think it's new, it's exciting.
I'm actually still believing that the way we are changing things is for the better for most users.
The way that we interact with crypto is being rewritten in real time. This is the Now Effect by ChangeNOW. Feel the power of now. Hey everyone, I'm Ornella Hernandez, and we are talking to Jye Sandiford from WalletConnect today. I'm going to let you explain what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I lead the Reown SDK team and fundamentally focused on the app side of our ecosystem. So we have wallets who use our network, we have apps and platforms who use our network, and the app side's kind of my domain.
Okay, awesome. So we'll get into all of that. But first off, how has ETC been for you so far?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We had our big flagship event, WalletCon, on Tuesday, so there was a lot of build up for that. We had some great planning sessions with our team internally, and then I've obviously been networking and enjoying a lot of the side events that the week's had to offer.
Yeah, it's been a fun week for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm curious to hear how you've seen the evolution of this classic Connect wallet moment change throughout the years and what you've seen here at the event.
Yeah, absolutely. Connect Wallet is quite a funny topic considering our name's WalletConnect. We started 8 years ago, and the challenge we were trying to solve is browser dApps and mobile wallets and how you connect them. So we created this QR code, which has since become like quite a big open infrastructure. And so from that Connect Wallet point of view, where we got to this week is kind of announcing to everyone at WalletCon that you can now tap and pay on POS devices that we're working on with Ingenico, a big payment service provider. So you've gone from connecting wallet on browser to connecting wallet on a mobile app, and now we're talking about tapping a phone to connect to your wallet. So it's quite the evolution.
Yeah, no, that's huge news. And what do you think people still get wrong or feel like it's too risky when it comes to tap and pay?
Tapping and paying. I mean, the flow, once you tap, we're like working on making that as abstracted as possible, but it still has the standard like flows everyone is used to who owns a self-custodial wallet. You connect, you sign a message, all the information's really clear about the actions you're making. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many concerns. If anything, I just think it's going to be a huge positive for people to take away the friction and be able to actually do things day to day with their crypto, which is exciting.
And WalletConnect, I mean, it powers so much, right? So maybe what are some misconceptions that people have behind what WalletConnect does or is?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the original premise was the QR code scan, and things have evolved a lot since then. We have over $1 billion a day run through the network, 70,000 apps on one side, 700 plus wallets on the other. And so what will often happen is people will think we're an actual wallet provider. So, you know, at WalletCon, you know, speaking to a lot of people who might not know our brand will come and ask, okay, how do we work with your wallet? It's like, no, we're an end-to-end, you know, encryption messaging service that connects the apps and the wallets together. So we're more of a partner to wallets than the wallet themselves. And that's probably something that's often misunderstood.
And so do you feel like things for the user, right, the user experience, do you think that it still is in that like startup dApp vibes when it comes to the login experience, or is it moving towards like when you're logging into your bank app, for example, like is it more institutional vibes or more?
Yeah, it depends. Definitely depends on the use case. As you said, like for consumers, we're working on payments and making that a more accessible thing to do with your crypto. On the institutional side, right, like that's a lot of the chat this week here at ECC. Everyone's like looking at how they pivot and focus on them as potential target customers. There's a lot of value to be made, of course.
You think that it's a good thing to be moving in that direction?
Yeah, generally. It means that there's like a bigger bucket of attraction. You know, we're going beyond the curious or the people who have been in industry for a few years and we're really starting to attract the masses, and it feels like that first thing that's probably come off over the last 1 to 2 years is the institutional interest. So there's different user journeys, right? Like the institutional user or customer versus a consumer customer has different needs, and so we try and provide a nice UX and flow for both types of customers. So institution probably looks more like your enterprise single sign-on to a platform, and for consumer, it's like making it as table stakes to your banking app as possible.
Right. But then again, there's still so many different types of wallets, right? We
Yep.
have hard wallets, regular crypto wallets.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for maybe the user to make sense of all these different products and to go about using them?
Yeah. I mean, it can be overwhelming. There's regional players, as you said. There's different like higher security, easier to use, abstracted away so you don't hold your private keys. There's so many things out there, and we actually have a wallet guide because we have so many wallets who use our network. We're like, how can people decipher and go through what all these wallets do, which
Right.
networks they work on, what features do they have. So that's quite cool. You can kind of go through and toggle different features, what's important to you, and see which wallets.
Okay. Where can people access this guide?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, WalletConnect.network, one of the top buttons we have is Wallet Guide, and you can browse through the different wallet partners we have, which is pretty much everyone in the industry, from the likes of Fireblocks and Hex Trust that big institutions use, through to the everyday users of like OKX and MetaMask on the consumer side.
Okay, that's awesome. How have you seen your role in particular change and evolve while at WalletConnect when it comes to interacting with so many different partners?
Yeah, obviously, when you have such a big set of partners or integration partners, it's really challenging. There's so many opportunities, and there's so many potential opportunities to capture that partners will bring to you, different ideas. Perhaps we could look at ways to bring value to the apps in a very obvious way that we could play by like giving them opportunities to offer something directly in wallets, which has been like quite a common thing that's occurred over the last year or two. So yeah, I think that is like one of the interesting opportunities, but challenges as well. And so we've really like tried to focus a lot on where's value occurring versus just necessarily connections. And the more we can support those use cases, where there's actual volumes of value going from wallets into apps, the more we can facilitate that, the better. And now with the expansion into the payments network, the more we can like help people then use their crypto day to day is kind of the extension of what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so is there anything interesting that you've seen specifically in the data when it comes to payment
Yeah.
that you would like to talk about? I know that WalletConnect recently published a State of DeFi report. So maybe there's some points in there that you'd like to expand upon.
Yeah. We launched that in February. We do it every year. We've been doing it for a number of years now. It's really nice. I actually had a kind of long time reader come up to me on Tuesday and tell me how much he's loved the report and uses it to discuss different things with his friends, which was nice to hear.
Loyal customer then.
Yeah, the things that I love is geographic distribution. Where are connections and where's the volume of value passing around the world,
Okay.
and how is that changing over time? So no surprises, like US and a lot of the big institutional money there means from a monetary value perspective, like it's still very much US predominant.
Yeah.
But just this last year, with the information we're seeing, Southeast Asia has taken over Europe for transaction volume.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just really showing like how global crypto is becoming, and that the transactions day to day are becoming really widespread around the world, which means there's an opportunity for everyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to always be trying to take over the world with your app. You can build really market-specific, regional-specific solutions and have something really good there to build a business off.
I mean, that's the way to go, right? You want to target an audience that is in need of these solutions, right? So you want to make sure you follow your users, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned that Southeast Asia is overtaking Europe when it comes to payment trends.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's anything new, but it is interesting because they're definitely farther ahead than Europe when it comes to like QR codes or like they don't use cash anymore. They don't use everything's on apps on their phone,
Yep.
right? So they've been doing this for a while. So how does that change your strategy when it comes to targeting that region?
Yeah, I think from like a DeFi perspective, it means that there's obviously a different user base, price sensitivity. They're attracted to different like risk profiling of assets that you can put in the market. From a payments perspective, something that Nacho, I had a product spoke about on Tuesday, is just how varied payments are around the world. So whilst we might be here in France and tap and pay is kind of a consensus and adoption, in Brazil, it's paying with QR code using
Right.
Pix. In other markets, it might be doing P2P transfers and sending it over a username. So it really does differ. And I think when we start to go down to that payments level, it means that like there's going to be like many ways to create really nice user experiences because people pay in so many different ways.
Yeah. And do you think that's a good thing to have like so many options and
Yeah.
diversity when it comes to payments?
Yeah, I think as an industry, over the last year, crypto is really starting to understand that we can't just take over the world and disrupt everything and say this is how it's going to be done now and convince people to come on that journey. We have to work hand in hand with traditional finance as an example. So that means like partnering more versus like competing and also looking at like how we now build these bridges between how the everyday consumer or institution is doing things and how they can make that transition across versus asking them to take a leap of faith.
That's a good point. And I'm going to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah.
How would you describe the state of the crypto industry in one word or one phrase in 2026?
One phrase, markets or disruption generally follow like an S-curve, and I feel that we're like definitely on the uprise now to some maturity. You can start to see in some various categories of DeFi the consolidation occurring. M&A, there's starting to become very clear winners in certain categories, and I think that's a good thing because like maturity happens when it means there's like a market to be made. It's been proven and everyone wants it. So that comes with some trade-offs, you know, some of the lovely values of the decentralization and the communities that have been built around events like this will have challenging moments. But yeah, I think it's healthy that overall the things people have put blood, sweat and tears into building are starting to be, you know, proven as the things people actually want. So that's
Definitely,
nice.
definitely. So it's on the up.
Yes.
On the up.
Yeah.
All right.
That was like so not one phrase, I just realized.
It's okay.
Apologies.
Okay. All right. So if you had to give 3 pieces of advice
Yep.
to a user or someone interacting with WalletConnect products, what would you tell him or her?
Oh, advice is like a consumer.
Like tips, yeah. Tips to a consumer.
I mean, I think that the main thing that we're providing is like trust, right? And availability. So sometimes you'll go to an app, they might only have a few direct integrations with big wallets like MetaMask, but perhaps you have a regional wallet that you use a lot in APAC, as we were talking about before. So WalletConnect gives you that like trust that you can always use WalletConnect as your connection wallet option, and the wallet that you use and trust will be there. And so I think that's what we bring, like high level of trust and availability to users.
Okay, so that's one.
Yes.
What else would you say?
Well, I guess the other thing is that we're now going to allow you to do things that you've hopefully been wanting to do for a long time, which is turn those stablecoins that you have in your wallet from just an investment asset into an asset that you can use for everyday payments.
Okay.
So that utility is pretty nice too. And so whilst we're just in the early stages of that journey, some of the partners we have, like Ingenico, I mentioned, are really going to help us scale that out and allow people to pay from, you know, their local merchants, whether that's online or in store in their neighborhood really soon.
Okay, awesome. So stablecoins are the #1 use case of crypto.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is your end goal there? You said to have people use it more on a day-to-day basis. What does that look like?
The ultimate aim here is that no matter where you are in the world, what bank or wallet you have, what currencies you hold, you can make a payment.
Right.
And like a really interesting use case of this today is perhaps you're traveling, you've gone cross-border somewhere, they might not accept the card, they might not accept your bank account. We've relied obviously on things like FX or making new bank accounts to do that in the past. So why can't you just use the money or the assets that you have to pay? And so we want to make a way for things to be truly universal and global. So no matter who you are, where you are, you can pay.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
All right. If you had to describe ChangeNOW in one phrase,
Yeah.
and let's keep it to one phrase,
Okay.
what would you say about it?
Well, similar to what I was mentioning about WalletConnect with our availability, I know that there's a huge range of token listings on the exchange, which is super attractive for people to come and know that whatever they're looking for, it's going to be there. So I'd say that's the best thing.
All right. So it's there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever you're looking for, it's there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And what is the best way for someone to reach out to you personally or to the company if they want to talk to you more and just learn more about what's going on at WalletConnect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, probably staying up to date with our socials is the easiest way because we have a lot of really interesting data each week. We also do some really cool reports on stablecoin volumes by different stablecoins, by different networks, etc. So I think that's really interesting to not only just keep up to date with us and what we're doing, but also what's actually happening in the market, which is nice.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Jye, for your time today.
No worries. Thank you.
And everyone, make sure to check out these weekly reports coming out of WalletConnect if you want to learn more. And stay tuned for more interviews.